I don't give a fuck about what I say in the rest of this podcast tonight. I want to talk about the most important fucking thing that we seen on tonight's show. And if you blinked, you missed it. I would love for someone in WWE Creative to give me an explanation as to why Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas are on the pre-show of WWE Fastlane. I don't know why. I thought WWE was hyping how their matches were some of the best matches of the year. So now we get Rey Mysterio and Andrade on the road to Wrestle fucking Mania. On the Fastlane pre-show. Great. You know, everybody wants to wonder why I complain about the fucking current WWE product. I don't fucking know, man. What the fuck? What the fuck does it take for a wrestling fan to come up with logic? Really? Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas on the pre-show of Fastlane, right? That's what you would do if you were in charge of WWE, correct? Yeah, great. Yeah, great job there, man. Great job. You'd be fired in about fucking 30 seconds. And here we are with these guys on the fucking pre-show. Well, JD, this isn't the biggest thing that happened on tonight's show. What about Daniel Bryan? What about Becky Lynch? What about Charlotte Flair? Fuck it. Fuck it. We're talking about Andrade and Rey Mysterio now. Everybody was wanting this match to be the kickoff match for WrestleMania 35. And here we are on the road to WrestleMania, and they're on the pre-show of fucking Fastlane. Now, two things come to my mind immediately. Number one, WWE doesn't see this as a opening match to WrestleMania, because how the fuck could they if they're already booking it in the fucking Fastlane pre-show? Number two, they didn't really value this feud to begin with. They only used it as a, of course, in the moment thing that WWE didn't really, anticipate at the time. Yeah, Vince, how about we put Rey Mysterio in the ring with Andrade Cien Almas, and, we'll cut his name down short. What does the Cien Almas mean? Unless he likes, wood, I don't think we should have him come out and be introduced by that full name, man. Andrade seems about the right way. And, what about these two guys? Because, Vince, I don't know if you understand it, but, they're both Mexican. How about that, Vince? I think that's a good idea. We don't have any of the fans for these guys. Rey Mysterio, we wanted to keep him from AEW. W for wood. But, Almas, he's been complaining about WWE. And, we don't want him to go to the young Bucks. And we don't want him to go, sit down with Cody and Tony Khan. We don't want him to go. We don't want him to go to Jacksonville. So we're going to put these two guys, because they're Mexican, and we're gonna hype up the crowd, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get very excited, and we'll do this for about a couple of weeks, and we'll do that for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll raise everybody's expectations, and we'll put it on the pre-show. Oh, Fastlane! Folks, if you think this is a good idea, and I'm not gonna listen. I don't bullshit you fucking people on here, man. I've had several craft beers tonight. But that doesn't mean that I don't watch SmackDown. And that doesn't mean I don't watch SmackDown with eyes wide open. This is ridiculous. WWE has failed us all. If WWE wanted to make Andrade and Rey Mysterio important, then they would have booked it in a proper manner in which it would have bled into WrestleMania. Now that it's on the fucking pre-show, and nobody is going to get to watch this because the pre-show isn't really part of the fucking main show that is a pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck what D-O-double-G says. It's not. So, for all those people wondering where Andrade and Rey Mysterio is for the United States title at WrestleMania, well, now they're on the pre-show. Let me tell you this one, folks. Baron Corbin and Bobby fucking Lashley are in a main event match with Roman Reigns, who is returning after a 4.5-month absence, and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, who's done absolutely fucking nothing on the main roster. They're in a marquee match on the main roster, on Fastlane, but Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas are not. Do I need to prove to you how this company is fucking garbage? Furthermore, fuck you, WWE. You are absolutely fucking horrendous in creative. That's the open to your fucking SmackDown Live review, man. I'm JD. If you don't fucking really give a shit, I don't give a shit. I don't care. JD from New York, man. Hit that fucking subscribe button. You want the fucking truth? You want the truth on this fucking platform? Then please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications, man. Please do so. Please. You'll be happy you did. Because there's a bunch of fucking pussies in this community who are afraid to attack the top topics with any direct implications. Seriously. Enough of this fucking nonsense. Anyway, we got SmackDown Live. Let me get into the fucking SmackDown Live nonsense right now, but before we do that, we got JD's Elite, man. How many of you are a part of JD's Elite? JD's Elite on bonfire.com, man. And yeah, oh my god. JD stole this from the young Bucks, man. He's gonna get copyrighted. Blow me, you fucking slob. You fucking fat slob in Connecticut. I know you're talking about me, bro. I know you're talking about me. Why don't you fucking wheelchair your way to the fucking refrigerator and grab yourself a slice of fruit? You could use it, you fucking slob. JD's Elite on bonfire.com, man. Link is down in the description of this very video, man. Please go and get yours. We have a bunch of fucking people. We have a bunch of people getting their t-shirts as we speak this very week for the first campaign. And maybe you'll buy yours and burn it. Too late. I got your fucking cash as it is. So blow me ×2. Anyway, moving on. Bonfire.com. Link is down in the description below, man. Social media. JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. Please follow me on there. I was actually on Twitch this afternoon for an hour. JD from New York. Make sure you guys follow me on there if you guys are into the video game theme of what I do. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you're new, YouTube should give you a notification. Yeah, you subscribe, but should you turn on all notifications? Of course you should, man. Of course you should. If you're an OG, go back to the bell. Go back to that little cartwheel that's in the little bell icon. And hit that motherfucker, man. Make sure you guys are turning on all uploads. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And if you guys missed these videos over the past week, man. Kevin Owens replaces Kofi Kingston at Fastlane. And the reason why I thought it was great, giving you Kofi fans a reason to be okay at the end of the evening. Sasha Banks and Bayley returned to NXT. They never looked happier. We got AEW signing major independent wrestling women superstar Brandy Rose, also scouting WWE Diva. We got the sad truth about Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon furious over Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch's Twitter feud and how that got started. Also, Kofi Kingston now slotted for the main event of WrestleMania 35 with the WWE Championship on the line. All that is on the channel right now, including Monday Night Raw review from last night. So make sure you guys go and check all of that stuff out on the channel right now in the eye that you see in the top right corner of your screen. All right, man, here we go. Let's get back into our professional state of mind. We're here on SmackDown Live. We got Daniel Bryan, and Rowan walk out. And Bryan says he sat back silent last week as Vince replaced Kofi Kingston. And I told you guys why it was a great thing that Vince McMahon replaced Kofi Kingston. And everybody continually throughout the week calling me a fucking racist. You people are absolutely fucking brain dead to the utmost degree. I gave you every reason as to why this was great, and you still called me a racist. Which shows me that you have an IQ as greater as this fucking squeeze Buffalo Wild Wings fucking stress beer bottle. You're a fucking idiot. Kofi Kingston being removed from the Fastlane main event with Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship has only raised his stock as far as WWE Championship goes. So shut your fucking mouth and watch the program with smart eyes, because I don't think you're watching it at all with any eyeballs. Calm down. This is a good thing. Bryan says he sat back silent last week. Good. Because he knew what was going on. Rowan added, shut up to the crowd as they were chanting for Kofi. So Bryan says Kofi is a supporting player. He is. There's nothing here that is a false statement. Kofi is a supporting player. No matter what you think or what you say about Kofi Kingston, the guy's been a tag team wrestler for the last 4 years. The guy's been mid-card for the last 4 to 5 years. He's been a supporting player. Now, I'm all for supporting players getting their role in a proper WWE Championship situation, but for the majority of his career, he's been a supporting player. This is nothing but factual statement from Daniel Bryan. Now, he is a supporting player and is exactly where he should be. He said Kofi is with his buddies in the New Day on a promotional tour of India that took the wind out of the fans, realizing Kofi wouldn't be there. Great. Awesome. Maybe WWE could take from this Kofi feud with the WWE Championship and apply it to Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Anyway, Kofi's not there. He said they replaced him with the man who knows or who throws out copious amounts of pancakes with a man who presumes a copious amount of pancakes. I guess they're again going right back to the well with Kevin Owens' weight. He said he knows why fans cheer Owens. Said KO is just like them. He looks like them, which is self-explanatory. He thinks like you, and just like the fans, he doesn't deserve a shot at the WWE Championship. Kevin Owens is a nobody. He says that is what makes him so dangerous. Because a nobody is a somebody with nothing to lose. By contrast, he said he has everything to lose because he is the champion of the planet. He said if he loses, the entire planet loses. He said if he doesn't want the fans to call him a martyr, but the weight is on his shoulders, and the weight that is on his shoulders is great. He was interrupted then by Kevin Owens, who came down and stepped onto the stage and walked into the ring. And Bryan interrupted immediately. Said, this is where you belong. Kevin Owens said the time off with his family was great, but it was also hard to watch other people do what he loves to do. He said it wasn't hard to watch Bryan, though. It was awful. Maybe he confused Daniel Bryan with Monday Night Raw. Because I don't know how anyone can sit there and logistically say that Daniel Bryan was awful. Daniel Bryan's been the best heel on WWE television. So for the simple fact of Kevin Owens being a babyface, A, is nauseating. B, just spewing out untruthful fucking nonsense is even more nauseating on the fact that you are a babyface. So, it wasn't hard to watch Bryan, though it was awful. He said he walked around like a maniac, talking down to everybody. Said he couldn't stand people who think they're better than everybody else. KO said this is the last straw. The last straw was watching Bryan throw the WWE Championship belt in the trash. That's probably where it belonged. Maybe if this was the Universal title, it would be a lot more realistic. The Universal title needs to be thrown in the trash. So, according to KO, this was the last straw where Daniel Bryan threw the WWE title in the trash. He said at this point, he knew he was going after Daniel Bryan. He said he deserves to have his stupid condescending mouth shut, and he's the one who's going to do it. Bryan said with all the garbage he and the people shoved down their throats, he's ready to provide valuable wisdom to the empty calories that sit in the crowd. Owens asked if this is the ever so intelligent Bryan who is resorting to lowbrow, easy, fat jokes. He asked if Bryan thinks he's better than him because he only buys organic carrots. I buy organic carrots and cucumbers. You're going to fucking come at me too? Blow me. He said he can shove those carrots, at that point, Daniel Bryan cut him off and asked, who's lowbrow now? He said the people are lowbrow like him. He said he's just like the people because those people agree with him that Bryan is a pretentious jackass. Owens said he doesn't have a reality show or a 7-foot backup dancer watching his back. Bryan said the only reason he doesn't have a 7-footer next to him is because he doesn't have any friends left. Owens said that's true. He said it isn't his fault that he lost all his friends. Owens said he didn't need anyone to hit him with a stunner and pin him 1, 2, 3. Owens said he never meant to take Kofi's opportunity, but it's his 100% intention to beat him again and take the WWE title from him on Sunday. Then Rowan got in KO's face. Owens said, "Do we have a problem, Red Wood? Do we have a problem, Redwood?" says Kevin Owens. So they go back and forth, exchange some punches. Bryan went after KO. KO tackled Bryan, set up a stunner. Rowan interjected himself to a choke slam or one of those palms to the forehead and lifted KO into a choke slam. And that was that. Bryan held the title over Owens as he laid on the mat, and that was it. I enjoyed the interaction between Bryan and Owens, and that was the extent of it. We all know where this is going, folks. It's not going anywhere else. It is Kofi in the distance, being that he's not there. WWE had 1 week left to build up Kevin Owens being immediately inserted into this WWE title program. That's what they needed to do. Everybody's mind is still on Kofi. Don't worry about it. We're going to get a great match with Bryan and Kevin Owens at Fastlane. Kofi will be there. Kofi will be in the WWE title situation. That is that. So enjoy the great match that you're about to see at Fastlane. Now, we said this about some of the matches that AJ Styles and Kevin Owens had. We said this about some of the matches that AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan had, and that wasn't the case. But I honestly do think that in this situation, on the road to WrestleMania, that Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens are going to give us a damn good match at Fastlane. So we'll see what happens. So we go from one promo in the opening hour of SmackDown Live into the other. The Usos make a full entrance, and they come out and address Shane McMahon and The Miz. Man, somewhere in the WWE locker room, the Revival are fucking salty, because they have not had a full WWE Raw Tag Team Championship entrance since they won those titles. And you guys know what I'm talking about. So the Usos have not even wrestled, I don't think, as a tag team since they won those tag team championships. And here we are, and the Revival has not gotten one single entrance in which they were allowed to do their thing. They were just there, thrown into a match with Ricochet and Alistair Black, and then again the next week, and here we are. Now they're mentioning it on social media. Maybe this week we'll get a full tag team championship entrance. And then one of them, I believe, was Scott Dawson, who actually retweeted his own tweet, said, "Never mind." But the Usos, who haven't defended those tag team championships since the Royal Rumble, or since they won them, here they come out with a full tag team entrance. Must be great to be the Revival. Anyway, they talk about the best tag team in the world, says nobody. They could barely keep a straight face at this point. They mocked their friendship over their daddy issues. Jay mocked Shane, saying he's going to jump off of things. He said at Fastlane, they're about to hit it real hard. Shane then comes out. He danced out and pounded his heart with his fist. Good old Shane McMahon. He was on the stage with The Miz. Shane and The Miz entered the ring. Shane then asked, "How's everybody doing?" Not good. Not good, Shane. Now, he goes on to say he and The Miz wear their hearts on their sleeves, and that helps them become the best tag team in the world. Yeah, this is dying real fast. Really, really dying quickly is Shane McMahon and The Miz. Said they'll be laughing last on Sunday. Miz says he will make Shane and his dad proud in his hometown in Cleveland. Usos charged at them, but Shane and Miz ducked and knocked them to the floor. We got Tom Phillips, some commentary, saying Miz would face Jay one-on-one next. Impromptu match, I guess. Miz wins at 7 minutes, skull-crushing finale for the win, and that was pretty much it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Usos are not losing the Tag Team Championships at Fastlane. And I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw Review. Fastlane, with what has been booked as one of the most predictable pay-per-views of all time. There's no reason why the Usos are losing this Tag Team Championship to both Shane McMahon and The Miz. Kayla Braxton interviewed Charlotte. She said Charlotte requested this interview. Charlotte asked if anyone else noticed that her best friend Becky Lynch isn't around. She said she misses seeing her hobbling around on a crutch. She said if she beats Becky on Sunday, Becky is done. We know that's not the case, but please continue to tell me how you're going to beat Becky Lynch. She left. As she said, the match becomes a triple threat if Becky beats her. She wanted to know if Becky was man enough to come to SmackDown to speak to her about her mental and physical capabilities. She offered a friendly discussion. Yeah, sure. Sure, it's going to be a really friendly discussion. R-Truth is in the ring. Again, U.S. title open challenge. This is where WWE has no plans for the U.S. Open Challenge when they have R-Truth go out there and do not 1 week, but 2 weeks a U.S. Open Challenge. That means that they don't really have any plans for R-Truth as United States Champion. And once again, he says he wants to be like his hero, John Cena. But he didn't realize he issued a U.S. Open Challenge every week. Said he's already tired. Carmella said his hero said you can never give up. Truth said he's also, gone on and said, well, you can't see me. He said he sees Cena all the time, including on his poster in his bedroom and on his Cena bed sheets. Yeah, folks, this is the quintessential United States Champion, R-Truth, who sleeps in a bedroom with John Cena posters and John Cena bed sheets. This is the man we are to believe in for the United States Championship. Carmella then egged him on and said he had to be brave. And then they went into a 7-second dance break. Of course, because Vince McMahon loves the 7-second dance break. That's why it was there. Lacey Evans comes out and she waved to the crowd again. Now, I didn't mention this on Monday Night Raw Review, but I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. If WWE continues to do this and they don't give me Lacey Evans in the ring, she will be dead on arrival. And they gave her a nice little nickname. Vince couldn't help himself to give Lacey Evans a cringe nickname, the Sassy Southern Belle. That's a great job there, Vince. Make me care about her even less than I did about before she did the waving and the salute. Yeah, this is everybody on social media. This is the woman that everybody wants on social media to beat Asuka for the women's championship, man. You all have mental deficiencies. And you know what? I would not be surprised if it happens. Because Asuka is an absolute fucking waste on SmackDown Live. Ever since she got that title, it was a fucking waste. So, we got a U.S. Open Challenge. Got a U.S. Open Challenge. Carmella told Truth that didn't count. Lacey Evans didn't count. Samoa Joe came out. Rey Mysterio came out. And then, of course, Andrade and Almas came out. Suddenly, we got a fatal four-way. And this was an actually great match. Went 10 minutes. Samoa Joe won the United States Championship. And I could not be more happier than where I was tonight, man. I cannot even begin to tell you how Joe needed this. Joe needed this. Out of everybody in this match, We can vouch for Mysterio. We could vouch for Andrade. You know, you could vouch for R-Truth if you want to go down that road. Joe needed this. Joe needed this. The guy has been on the cusp of championships for the longest time. And there's no doubt in my mind that if WWE wanted to give Joe the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire, then that could have been the moment that Joe held championship gold. They, for some reason, didn't see that. Joe, ever since then, has been in a sea of mediocrity. He's been in this feud with AJ Styles that went nowhere, that gave us great matches, and it resulted in 0 championships. Now we got Samoa Joe, at least with SmackDown's mid-card championship. And you know what? I don't give a fuck about Andrade. I don't give a fuck about Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio is at a point in his career where he doesn't need championships. Andrade's young enough to a point where he is going to have all the championships eventually come to him. Joe, having the U.S. Championship, I would have him hold the championship for the rest of this calendar year. Joe is a heel. Joe was a United States champion. Joe finally has championship gold on his shoulder. And I even tweeted at him, which blew up on social media. Finally, Samoa Joe has championship gold around his shoulder. It's a long time. It's a long time. We all wish that Joe would have had a run with the WWE Championship and facing other top 2 guys on this brand. But he got lost in the mid-card because WWE seemingly didn't see anything in him, or they didn't have any plans creatively for him. I don't give a fuck if it's a WWE title, tag team title. I don't give a fuck if it's the United States Championship, which is worthless. It's better on Joe than it is on R-Truth. Fact. Joe is going to bring prestige to this title. Joe is a fighting guy. Joe will defend this title anywhere and make it look credible against any opponent. I don't give a fuck who he defends this title against. He is that badass to a point where when he steps in the ring with anybody, this is a great foundation for anybody else coming on up in the WWE, like a Mustafa Ali. This is great. You want your United States Championship defended at WrestleMania? There you go. Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Joe deserves championship gold regardless if it's a fucking day, a week, a month on his shoulder. You got the title on his shoulder before WrestleMania? There you go. You got unfinished business with Mustafa Ali and Samoa Joe? Mustafa Ali is your new United States Champion at WrestleMania. That's what I'm predicting. And I don't have any problem with that. R-Truth was nothing more than a placeholder for WWE's lack of creativity. And I hope you guys understand that. I wish Joe would have a lengthy reign as champion, but there are others in place right now that are going to be taking his position. And I think Mustafa Ali at that point, being that Kofi is slotted into the position that Mustafa Ali was supposed to be in, I think Mustafa Ali getting the United States Championship is a decent consolation prize. So we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. It makes for a feel-good moment at WrestleMania, and I have no problem with that. And I don't think you guys should have a problem with that whatsoever. We got Kevin Owens and Rowan coming up in the main event. We got a New Day promo in India earlier in the day. They stepped onto the street, surrounded by people on the street, yelling that they will be at Fastlane on Sunday. Clearly, this is teasing some sort of fuck finish in the WWE Championship match. And Graves said it was smart that they sent the New Day to India. Saxton thought that something was up coming from WWE management. Caleb Braxton interviewed Samoa Joe saying that his colleagues have accused Joe of not being able to win the big one. Joe took exception and said that they weren't accusations, but rather unanswered prayers. He said they all know what he will be able to do when he wins championship gold, and he will do whatever he has to do to keep it. He said he doesn't do dance breaks or pander to the masses of the unexceptional. He said his opponents will find disrespect for any man who has the audacity to come at the king and his crown. He ended with a sniff, and then he stared into the camera lens and just walked off like the badass that he is. Simple, letting everybody know that he has not been forgotten. While everybody thought that he is lackluster and couldn't win the big one, he won the big one, folks. No matter what you think of it, Joe is the United States champion, rightfully so. Whether this leads to a Joe Ali match at WrestleMania or a ladder match of some sort for the United States Championship at WrestleMania, featuring R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, Andrade Cien Almas, Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali, whatever. We all know, coming from this, that the United States Championship is at least being given some spotlight at WrestleMania. And I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. Ricochet and Alistair Black versus The Bar. Now, I want to mention this. And I want to mention this because I didn't mention it on Monday Night Raw. I feel like Ricochet and Alistair Black are not the same way that they are on NXT, man. I honestly feel that Ricochet and Alistair Black are being paired because WWE, A, has no plans for them, and B, it feels forced. And I don't really want that to come off in that way. I really don't. I honestly think that these guys need to be booked individually. And the only reason why I could even surmise why they're being booked as a tag team is because WWE has them teaming together in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Now, I hope that with the Dusty Tag Team Classic coming to an end, as soon as that is over with, that Ricochet and Alistair Black go their separate ways. They need to be booked as individual. Because what this is doing is, it may be fine for Ricochet, but I feel like all the mystique that Alistair Black is, I feel like they're somewhat humanizing him on the main roster. Like, he was mysterious. He was almost like a vigilante on NXT. He was a loner. He was a lone wolf. And he was very direct on NXT. Now he's in the public eye and he's just kind of shedding his skin a little bit. And I don't like it at all. And it's all for the sake of putting in with NXT and the Dusty Classic, and then translating that to the main roster. Now, this could be Vince or this could be Triple H just putting these guys together because they were doing what they had to do on NXT as far as storylines go. Or this could be a reason that Tommaso Ciampa is hurt and Johnny Gargano has no partner, and this was a spot slated for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So Vince decided to put Ricochet and Alistair Black in this position. I don't know. I really don't know. But either way you look at it, Ricochet and Alistair Black beat The Bar. Ricochet hit a 630 on Cesaro for the 3 count, and that was it. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, after the match, attacked them in the ring. The Hardys made the save, leaped over the rope, did Jeff for a tope, and The Bar caught him. Ricochet then decided to leap over the rope and knock everybody down with a suicida. Hardys, Ricochet, and Black stood in the ring together. I'm assuming we're going to get the Hardys and Ricochet Black versus The Bar, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rusev in an 8-man tag next week on SmackDown Live. Well, we may actually get this at the pre-show of the pay-per-view. But I think they did announce that Ricochet and Black were in a triple threat match for the tag team championships. Anyway, moving on, man. Well, regardless of that, we could be going into WrestleMania with a huge multi-man match for the tag team championships on SmackDown Live, because they have nothing else better to do with these guys on SmackDown Live. So I don't know what's going on, but it just goes to show you that WWE has no plans right now going into Fastlane or coming out of Fastlane for WrestleMania. Mandy Rose beat Naomi in 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. Naomi had a jawbreaker. Sonya distracted Naomi. Mandy then kneed Naomi and hit her with a face plant finisher for the win. Naomi loses in 2 minutes. Can you say buried? Buried. Here we go. Was there anybody else that you could have put in this position? Did it have to be Naomi? Don't really understand that. So we got that in 2 minutes, and I guess they needed to look strong, or Mandy Rose needed to look strong going into the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match that she will eventually lose at Fastlane. Rowan with Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins via DQ. Obviously, this was, I was actually surprised by this because I thought this was going to be a legitimate match. I didn't expect Mustafa Ali to come down. At the end of the match, Bryan and Rowan double-team KO. Mustafa Ali came down for the save. It didn't seem to get the pop that they all wanted, and it was very flat. He went out for a flurry of offense against Bryan and Rowan, but this is expected because he was out for all this time, and nobody's really making him a focus on the show. Nobody really gave him any highlights or spotlights to anything at all. He got a flurry of offense against Bryan and Rowan. He leaped off the announce table and head scissored Rowan against the ring post. Rowan shoved him into a flying knee off the apron by Bryan. KO recovered and gave Bryan a stunner from behind. And nothing here really got a huge pop at all from the crowd. And that was pretty much it as Bryan and Rowan backed up to the ramp. This was supposed to be, Mustafa Ali's great moment coming back, and nothing happened. But this is WWE's fault. WWE didn't really advertise Mustafa Ali during his injury, or they didn't really highlight him as the guy who was replaced. They just seemingly took one guy out of the match and replaced him with another and seemingly forgot about the guy that they replaced. And then in the WWE's mind, they expected everybody to come back and ultimately cheer the guy that was ultimately missing from the original match. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. These casuals don't know shit. You got to give them a reason to cheer this guy, and you failed at doing that. You didn't give me no promo. You gave me one promo about how he's heartbroken about, Kofi replacing him. That was it. You didn't really keep up on it on a week-to-week basis. You let it go for 2 or 3 weeks. But WWE fans are conditioned to forget about things that happen on a week-to-week basis. If you don't say something in the next week, then nobody's going to understand what's going on. I do. You do. We all knew Mustafa Ali's coming back. We didn't anticipate it, but you should have done a better job at building up to his impending return. WWE failed on this, very much so. Charlotte, in the main event, makes her way to the ring. And this was the last segment of the show, and I really don't know why this was the last segment of the show, because it did absolutely nothing to get me involved or invested in the match that they have at Fastlane or the WrestleMania triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. So they went over the entire segment that happened on Monday Night Raw, where Ronda Rousey was flipping out. Charlotte called Becky to the ring. Becky came out. She said she's hurt and she'll do anything to stay in Charlotte's head. She said Ronda doesn't know what she wants. One week she wants to face her at WrestleMania. The next week she's trying to take her out. She said her ribs are bruised. Her arm was almost broken on Raw and her knee is damaged. She said those who were damaged are the most dangerous because they have nothing left to lose. Charlotte kicked the crutch and slapped Becky and then slammed her hard on the mat. Charlotte stomped away at Becky's leg. Graves went on commentary and said that this was brilliant strategy. Becky then swung at Charlotte with the one crutch that she had in her hand and took Charlotte down. So Becky then applied the disarmor on Charlotte. Referees came out, broke them up. Charlotte rolled to the floor, retreated up the ramp with a smile, and clutched her arm. And that was the way SmackDown Live went off the air. I don't even know why this was needed. And like I mentioned yesterday, I'm not even going to go in depth about why this wasn't needed, because I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw Review on Monday night. It's WWE adding too much seasoning to the fucking pasta sauce. You're killing it. You're diluting it. Why did this need to happen? Would it kill you to keep these women off television for a week? We seen what we seen on Monday Night Raw. He couldn't keep them off SmackDown Live and attacked again the next week, or even kept them off TV the next week and went and built something else on top of that, being that we all know what's happening. Seriously, was this needed? I question why Samoa Joe winning the United States Championship was not in the main event of tonight's SmackDown Live. I don't get it. This is WWE doing too much when it is completely unnecessary. Unnecessary. Was it a great job at selling the feud? Yeah, great. Great. But we got the selling of the main event on Monday Night Raw. We didn't need anything. We got what we needed on Raw. Becky was in the armbar. Charlotte didn't get into the ring. She teased getting in the ring to stop Ronda, but she didn't. And she walked up the ramp smiling. Leave it at that. The entire story now is Becky coming from behind to get into WrestleMania. You didn't need to show everybody the scenario of getting Charlotte in the disarmor, because that should have been saved for WrestleMania. Or for Fastlane, rather. That should have been saved for Fastlane and WrestleMania, but for Fastlane nonetheless, in this current story that you're telling. So you got Charlotte in the disarmor. Great. That was the ending that should have been at Fastlane. We could have done completely without that visual tonight on SmackDown Live. And I know I'm not the only one in that boat thinking that. This company's fucking ridiculous, man. On top of putting Andrade and Rey Mysterio on the fucking pre-show, we got this bullshit in the main event. Stop over-seasoning your pasta sauce, please. At this point, I don't want it. And I'm Sicilian. I love pasta. I don't want any more. You fucking idiots in WWE Creative. How stupid can you be? You took the fucking most simplest fucking storyline and you just oversaturated it with unnecessary bullshit. I'm getting out of here, man. I hate this company, man. You know, it's one thing. It's one thing to come on here and praise this company about the good things that they do. The good things that they do that are very, very hard to find. And it's another thing to come on here and bitch and moan about it. You know, it takes a lot of fucking balls to come on here and bitch and moan about the current product, because everybody's just looking for the fucking positive, or the overwhelming positive in the content that is WWE. It's not. There's not overwhelming positive, man. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it looks half-assed when it comes off on television. I am not the only one who thinks this way. I am not some fucking smart mark. I want television that makes me fucking think about what is to come in the weeks ahead. I don't want to sit here and think, well, they fucked this up, they fucked that up, there's a logic hole here, there's a logic gap there. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I really don't. Please. This is fucking horrendous. WrestleMania does not feel like WrestleMania. I don't know why we have a Fastlane pay-per-view. Why do we have a Fastlane pay-per-view? Why? Give me one good reason why we have a Fastlane pay-per-view. I'm getting out of here, man. Fuck this shit. Fucking tired. Had a fucking plethora of beverages. Done. Fuck out of here. If you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up. And I will see you guys on NXT. Don't know what's happening on Wednesday, but we got the start of the Dusty Classic. I'm assuming we got the Dusty Classic coming up. If you guys want to tune into that, I'll be here reviewing everything that happens on NXT. As always, man, make sure you guys get your t-shirts. JD's Elite at bonfire.com. Link is down in the description down below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And if you missed any of my uploads, man, during the week, there you go. Link is in the eye. Down in the, or actually up. Not down, up. I went down on your fucking mother last night. But up in the eye that you see in the top right corner of the screen, man. Thank you guys so very much, man. Remember, for all the fucking trolls out there, man, zero accolades. Zero accolades. I gotta shout out. I gotta shout out Sal Rex, man. This is fantastic. I'm gonna be embellishing this on Off the Script this coming Friday. Please hit that thumbs up if you think Tori Wilson has zero accolades for the WWE Hall of Fame, man, or the Hall of Shame. Right there, man. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for NXT. Until then, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you then, man. Talk to you later.